everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today you already know what's going to be happening because of the title of this video. We're going to be talking about what I thought about Shatter Me. So this is not spoiler free. There is going to be a lot of spoilers and I'm going to talk myself through this. I did a similar video to this on The Cruel Prince, the first book. If you want to go check out my Cruel Prince video, then you can do that. You should do that. I highly recommend watching that. It's pretty funny and it's really good. It's really good. Don't toot your own horn. Toot toot. Let's start off with Shatter Me. I actually recently read this about a month or two ago, so it's very sharp in my brain, but I also have notes, so. Okay, so the biggest thing I think that's very notable throughout the first book, for sure, is the crossing out of words. Now, I don't know if this kind of peeved some people off, but it peeved me off, okay? Because I can still read it. That means I have to read more. And I get it's like showing the point of how traumatized Juliet is. I totally understand that. Was it a vibe? I don't know. I know I'm not the target audience for this book, and I did read it when I was either 19 or 20, can't remember. I'm 20 now, so very recently, and I know the target audience is 13 plus. So the crossing out of words may have been quirky when it came out. For me, it was kind of just really annoying. This is why the first time I tried to read this book, I got to the first page, saw the crossed out words, and I was like, oh, no. Now, if it wasn't obvious enough by Juliet crossing out all her words in her brain, or, you know, Tahada Murphy doing so, because she was the author, she was the most basic YA girly. And that's completely fine, because we love a basic YA girly. And back in the day when this was probably released, everyone loved the basic YA girly. Me, for example, yes, I was reading Wattpad, because yes, I love those messy buns that the YA girly tied her hair up in, and jeans and a t-shirt. We are introduced to Adam. He comes in, he already knows who this chicky chack is, and she already knows who he is, because before she went into the asylum, they went to the same school together, but turns out he had like a secret crush and she did as well. Like, seems a little convenient to me. Seems a little bit sus to me, but we don't actually find out that about Adam for a while. But they're also treated like, it's like pretty disturbing, if I'm being honest, at the start, because they give him food, right, but like through like a little peephole, and they have to eat it quickly but not too fast because they need to let it cool down, and then they get to wash once a day and they have to like run through the darkness, and then kind of really fucked up. My thing is after all this stuff, we have this relationship between Juliet and Adam, and it's like an obsession. Mr. Adam, he is obsessed, okay? Like, literally, it's kind of creepy. I literally forgot to mention the biggest thing. Juliet can't touch anyone without hurting them. Like, I'm kind of scared. That sucks, you know, you've got these powers, and your power is that if you touch someone, you hurt them. My big thing again with Adam is that he's already in love with this chicky chack that he has not even like had like one conversation with previously, but just because of how he watched her. I'm not trying to be that person, but what the fuck? If that wasn't a red flag for Juliet at the start, like, I don't know what is, because I'm very, very worried for their sanity. They also say I love you in book 1 to each other. I just don't think there's enough build up. Like, they're just young kitty cats, young kids. And, you know, you do say I love you very quickly, because I remember in intermediate, which is year 7 and year 8, so you're like, what, maybe 10 to 13-ish? There were couples that were saying I love you after the first week of dating, so could be very related to that, because that was the target audience. Maybe that's why all like the 13-year-olds were saying I love you so quickly, because they had this to read and they realized that if you watch someone, you fall in love. And then even in Shatter Me, we had the creepy Warner. So creepy. Obviously, like, if you read through the series, you kind of get to understand why he's like that. But like, prior to knowing any of those facts, when you're reading Shatter Me for the first time, you're like, what the fuck? If you go into reading Shatter Me, you probably already know that Juliet ends up with Warner. So you're kind of like, what the heck? Why does this Why? I've had conversations with people who only read Shatter Me and was like, I cannot continue the series because I know that she ends up with Warner, and what the fuck? Because same, I was like that. I was like, you want me to continue to read this book series knowing that she ends up with this creepy psychopath? I mean, Sailor's okay. Just my normal activities. But like also in Shatter Me, you have this really creepy relationship between Warner and Juliet, as we already know. But he's also in love with her? Out of what? Watching videos of her in the asylum while she was like thinking of herself? Like what? I mean, but turns out Adam's love is so strong for her, he's got to run away. So he takes Juliet with him and runs away, no matter what. Like, these people have shotguns ready to shoot. Turns out the reason why Juliet's like also in love with Adam is because she can touch him. And she, without hurting him, by the way, without hurting him, woohoo! But then turns out she can also touch Warner without hurting him. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? A little sus, a little suspicious. The fact that Adam and Juliet don't get caught either makes zero sense because they have so much surveillance. But you know what? We're just gonna live love. We're just gonna get through that. And turns out, we found out in Shatter Me that Kenji was a special agent. Boo, 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 undercover. And he's also got the powers of invisibility. So after book 1, I kind of had in my head, Warner? Absolutely not. Adam on thin ice. Moving on to Unravel Me, which is the second book. Don't know why I read this before I read the novella. The novella in between Shatter Me and Unravel Me was Warner's POV. And I guess I got to know him a little bit more. Still a little bit creepy because I was kind of like, okay. So what I have written down is that James stole the show and Kenji was there. This book picks up right from where you left off, so it's very fast paced, very in your face. This is in your face! Woo! So they've come to that camp where now they are with a bunch of other powerful teenagers / people. Yeah, it's run by this older guy who also has powers, which is telekinesis. And they actually find out that Adam's power... Editing Alia here, I actually go on and on about Adam's power and I actually don't know what I'm talking about, so don't worry about it, you should know. You know what I mean, okay? If you've read the books, you know. But you know, I actually really like the chaos of Juliet and Adam breaking up because we needed something to happen between them, because them being in love like that, oh, too quick, too much for me to handle. We also had a really fun girly moment with Juliet again, speaking about glue. She was like, oh my gosh, glue. Glue is like crazy. Glue is like, you stick to stuff. Why are we talking about glue? We have so much else to do. Also, Kenji's fucking hilarious. He's the star of the show now. He says everything that we as the readers want to say, because he's talking about the situation with Adam and Juliet and how like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? So Juliet and Adam go back and forward about loving each other and then not wanting to hurt each other. Back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Like, okay, we get it, we get it, we get it. So at some point they actually capture Warner. That's a little bit sus. And Warner's dad is a cunt. As we actually also find out that Warner and Adam and James, they're all siblings. They have the same dad. Because he's a cunt. So Warner stays and we actually find out that he stayed for Juliet because he wanted to be with her. So he stays and every single day Juliet visits him. He pretty much says a bunch of creepy things again. So great. We all know it's because he's traumatized and a little fucked up in the head because of the abuse that he went through as a child. So that is pretty serious. Turns out because Juliet spends so much time with Warner, she actually kind of starts to like him. Oh shitty shit. Because she's supposed to be in love with Adam. And then pretty much for the rest of the book, it's just a pissing contest between Adam and Warner. Great. Now, book 3. Book 3 was actually my favorite out of all of them. So the whole place where all the teens with powers has blown up and they're all fucking dead. They're all dead except for a group of people who have gone back to where Adam's brother James used to sleep and stay and live, and they've all gone there. And there's a character named Alia. I actually don't know how they pronounce it, but still my name. I did skip the Adam novella because I could not be bothered. So Juliet and Warner become very close at the start of this book. Juliet wants to go find, you know, everyone, try and figure it out because she's been held captive. She was actually shot by Adam, Warner's and James' dad. Luckily she survived because Warner saved her life. So good job, Warner, because the healers were actually there because they were taken by Warner and blah blah blah's dad. And so he just transferred that power, because Warner's power is that he can take everyone's power that's around him. Well, not everyone's, but one person at a time's power when he touches them or is around them. So he heals her and then he keeps her, yeah, in his room. And they kind of spend a lot of time together, but then she wants to go find the rest of them, but then finds out that the whole place is blown up, but she finds Kenji, so that's really great. And Kenji brings her back to the house. But though everyone is very excited to see them, well, Juliet, because there's one other person alive, she's kind of started liking and falling in love with Warner. So that's really awkward for Adam. Adam gets in a pissing fit, gets really upset about it because what else does he do in this book? And Juliet talks about how she doesn't even think she was ever in love with him. So that must hurt even more. So that really sucks for Adam at this point. She takes a really long time to get to that point with Warner, because Warner has already said that he is in love with her throughout like the whole series already.
Editing Alia here, I'm just going to say it got really, really hot. That's why I'm constantly fanning myself.
She makes Warner like do anything, because he will do anything for Juliet at this point. Warner comes in and he's like, okay, they can use the facilities at the base or like where he lives, you know? And they're like, okay, sweet. So that happens. Turns out that Adam's still having a pissing contest and won't come with James as well. So James and Adam are left out while everyone else comes every day to the facility to train and shit, to go up against Warner, Adam's blah blah blah's dad. Adam is the only brother that knows that they're siblings, so he hasn't told James that him and Warner are siblings, and Warner has no idea that they're siblings. Anyways, Warner and Juliet get really close, so that's really fun. And they end up doing it. It's a conspiracy, actually. It's a very big conspiracy between Shatter Me fans. Did they actually do it or did they not? I think they did. You know, not going to think too much more of it because, well, Juliet's 17 in the book and Warner, aka Aaron is 19. They have a lot of sexy times throughout this book, which I was like, damn, this is supposed to be 13 plus, but I guess it's giving like 15, 16 plus, because it gets very descriptive, surprisingly, because I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is where it's going. I've read adult books that are less descriptive than this. The story ends, okay. It's a great one. I thought it was good. I actually really like the series. I will probably at some point continue the series with these 3 books because I do have them. I'm a mood reader, so at some point, and maybe I can do a part 2 talking about those books as well. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought of what I thought and what you want to see me do next. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time in my next video. Good damn. That's Joey Gassuff as anything. Bye!